चलो, now I am going to start my class बच्चे लोग, right? First of all, right, I am going to share my notepad window, right? Whenever you are uploading this, right, any lecture in right YouTube or anywhere else, so please try to modify according to the content because sometimes the right noise is there between and forwarding and between the class. So try to remove that noise and upload only the useful content on the net. Shall I start, Bachelo?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now I'm going to start. Today's lecture is based on is how to take input from the user in Java, right?
सर आपकी स्क्रीन दिख नहीं रही.
Okay, sorry. Now my screen is visible.
Yes,
Now
sir,
my
visible.
screen is visible, Bachelo.
हाँ सर, अभी विजिबल.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Today I am going to teach you how to take the input from the user in Java, right? So basically, I will going to teach two ways. There are generally three ways to take the input, but basically today I am going to teach in two ways. First way is using the scanner class. Using the scanner class. Second way, using the output package, or I am using the buffer reader. Using the buffer reader. So what do you mean by buffer reader? Buffer reader means, right, we have a buffer in which we are going to load the input, and from the buffer, right, in the buffer we are going to store the input from the, and afterward if you wanted to use that buffer, you can take the input from the buffer and you can use it. So first of all, using the scanner class, we are going to make the program import java dot util dot star, right, because in util package there is a scanner class, so we are totally specific to the scanner class, that's why I am going to mention it the scanner class. This class name is input user 1 because everything in the java you have to make the classes. Now we are making the main body public static void main, string arguments, string is capital, right? So if you wanted to use any class, you have to create object of a class. So we have created object of scanner class, new scanner. In this way you can create the object of a class, if because we are going to take the input from the system, reading the input from the system, that's why we are adding system.in. Now, right, I'm going to write simply system.out.print, and then that the command is going to print on the console window, right? Right. Enter the first number. If you want it, this is the variable. We have to object dot next int. Why we are writing the next int? Because always, right, the java understand in the form of string only. If you wanted to read as a number, that's why you have to convert from string to integer. So that's why we are using the typecasting, by the help of which function, next int function, is going to be used to typecast from a string to integer number. Simply, right, you can take the input the second number also, enter the second number, right, this is b. Finally you can print plus is. Why I am writing in bracket? Because it's going to print a plus b, otherwise it prints first a value then b value. I think this program is created to you. Initially, we made the class. In the class, we made the main body. Afterwards, we have created the object of the scanner class. Why we are writing in the creation process of object, we have written system.in. Why we are writing this? Because we have to take the input from the user, and then we have printed one statement in the console window, that is system.output of enter the first number. Afterwards, we have stored the input in A, because A is integer type and Java understand the string thing. So we have converted the string into integer. Then afterwards, we have stored the integer number in A variable. That is a space where we can store the value. Similar way, we have stored the value in B. Afterwards, we have performed the addition of two numbers, that is A plus B, and printed on the console window. I think this is the first basic program using the scanner class, in which we have taken the input from the user. I think this program is clear to all, right, bachcho?
Yes, sir, clear.
Now I am going to use the next page, right? Now I am going to teach you how this in the next way, right? Take the input using the buffer reader, in which what you can do, either you can mention the buffer reader, or either you can mention the package, that is input IO package, right? So first of all, I am going to create a class. Class is user input user 2. In the class I have to create in the class I have to create the main body, public static void main string ends string arguments. In the string arguments, what I have to do, right? I have to write, because I am going to use which class, bachelo? Which class I am going to use? Bachelo, which class? Which class?
Buffer reader.
Buffer reader.
So if you wanted to use the buffer reader class, right, initially you have to create the object of which class, bachelo? Buffer reader, right?
Buffer
So I
reader.
have created the right buffer reader, right? Buffer reader. Buffer reader means it's kind of bucket in which you can store the input. For that you can what in the inside the buffer reader you have to take, right, input, because input is going to, first of all we are going to take the input from the user and going to store in the buffer, and afterwards we can use the buffer, right, because we have taken the input from the user and stored in the buffer. Afterwards you can refer as a buffer as a right, storage space, that space can be used for further processing. So input stream reader is used to take the input from the from the from the user, because input is taken from where, system. Then we have to write system.in. We have to write system.in. Finally, right, in the same way, what we can write here, system.out.println, enter the first number. This is the statement we are going to print on the console, right? If for example now, right, now I'm going to write store any number. For the storage I have taken variable int a, right? What I have to use, I have to use integer dot pass int, because, right, why I'm using integer dot pass int, bachelo, बताइए?
So for typecasting.
For typecasting, then after the object, right? Why? Because in this way you can typecast it. Object, whatever the you are entering it, the one function is there, that is read line function, that read the line, right? We are using read line function to read the line, right? Object or read line, because whatever we are reading from the console window is in the form of string only. and we have taken a variable which is integer type. So from the console string we are converting in the integer format by the help of which we can store in the variable a. Right, similar way, right, we can take the variable b, right, which can be, right, which takes the input from the user by the help of which the second number can be stored, and afterwards you can simply system.output.println, you can print the addition of two numbers. Why I am writing a plus b? Because otherwise it's plays the value separately. If I am writing in brackets, it's from the addition, then only they print the number on the console window. So this is the second way by the help of which we can take the input from the user. The first way we have, now I am going to summarize my class. In the first program I have taught to you, right, take the input using the scanner class. In the scanner class, right, you have to create initially the right object of the scanner class, then only you have to use the functions. Because we are taking the integer variable a, so we have typecasted using nextInt function, which is inbuilt in scanner class object. By the help of object dot nextInt, we have called the function which is inbuilt in the scanner class and stored the value in variable integer type of variable a. Similar way, we have stored the value in b, and afterwards perform the addition of two numbers. Now if you wanted to use the buffer reader class, which is inbuilt in input IO package, right, otherwise you have to mention the buffer reader class here, right, you can mention the buffer reader class here, or other you can take the package, or because we are also using input stream reader class, you can mention the separate classes, or otherwise what we can do, so or what we can do, what you can do, java.io.star. In this way now you can go on. So we have taken the input from the right, so using the buffer reader you can also store the input. So if you wanted to take something in the buffer, right, so we have to take from the system. So we have used the input stream reader that read the input from the system and store in a buffer. Afterwards you can refer for right, for reading the values, right. So in a, right, what we have taken a variable a because it's an integer time, so you have to typecast it. Whatever we are reading in the console, it's a string time. So object or read that is reading the input from the console window, and afterwards we are converted in the form of integer using integer to pass or enter and storing a. Similar way we can store in the form of b, and printing the addition of two numbers on the screen. Why we have written brackets in a plus b? Because otherwise a is separately printed or b is separately, the addition will not be performed. So that's why we have written in the form of braces by the help of addition of two numbers printed on the console window. That's all for the today.